Hello fellow model aviation hobbyists. I've got a great news for you, but before I get to that, let me set the stage. Where do you work on your models? Usually on a flat surface in the form of a table, a workbench, and in some cases, a kitchen island. Though these surfaces can get you to put a kit or a scratch build together and cover it with great care for the fear of hanger rash, but when it comes to installing the hardware, there are no help in holding your model in the right position. So you get to hire some form of these stands. But the only thing these stands can do for you is to hold your model off the surface. They are very limited in holding your model in the right position for you to work on comfortably and securely. So how do you overcome all these limitations? By retiring both these stands and the surface. But then you say there is nothing else, to which I say there wasn't until now. Introducing the DynoStand. It is more like a building station than a stand. It is designed by modeler, handcrafted by modeler right here in the United States. It is made of welded hollow structural steel, aluminum, and of course the very substance that made aviation possible, let alone our beloved hobby, wood, as in Baltic birch plywood. It is zinc and powder coated for durability. It tips the scale at 21.5 pounds, and it only occupies 4 square feet of real estate. It holds fuselages up to 15.5 inches wide and up to 50 pounds. It will hold your model in almost any position you want to work on comfortably and securely. Okay, let's see how DynoStand can perform for you. But before I begin, let me tell you some fundamental rules about using the DynoStand. DynoStand, contrary to the name, is not for testing engines, electric motors, or any kind of a propulsion system on it. It is solely designed to build radio-controlled model airplanes, and you should strap them on it so they cannot move in either direction. The fuselage is supported by 4 points: side, bottom, side, and the top on both sides. Side supports are adjustable for the height and the width of the airframe. DynoStand is equipped with the floating floors in case you need more access on the bottom of your fuselage. The working height is adjustable from 42 inches down to 28 inches in case you want to work on it sitting down on your comfy chair with your model hovering on your lap. The supports are adjustable from 17.5 inches to 30 inches. Although DynoStand can handle larger airframes, but for the demonstration purposes, we're going to use this 110cc airframe. You will center the fuselage on the stand, and if your fuselage already have a landing gear, you want to situate it behind the sliding block to prevent it from moving this way. You adjust your side supports about 1/2 inch or so below the top of the fuselage. So you get some downward pressure by the strap. Also, you want to make sure that your side supports are pressing slightly against the fuselage for the better grip. Now the back support almost always falls into the tapering part of the fuselage, so it cannot move this way due to the wedge effect. I choose this location for two reasons. One, to have a full access of the midsection, and two, to support fuselage security from moving this way. Now you notice I adjusted the side support a bit behind this point, so you get some backward pressure by the strap. Now she's going nowhere, even if you turn it 90 degrees. Now you decide where to start. If you glue in the tail feathers and secure them enough to hold alignment in any position, you can start working on the fuselage right away. You can work on the nose section, drilling, mounting. You can work on the midsection, installing your electronics, servos, fuel tanks, battery, maybe plumbing. You can work on this side of the fuselage, installing your switches, fuel ducts, maybe a tail servo. Or you can work on the other side of the fuselage, installing your switches, maybe working on the engine, battery, and maybe another tail servo. Or you can work on the bottom of the fuselage, installing your landing gear, exhaust system, maybe the tail wheel. All that while the glue is sitting without the fear of hanger rash. Now, if you need more room than this on the bottom of your fuselage, you simply loosen up the strap, unlock your floating floors, raise it. You gotta make sure your locks are set correctly. Raise it to the height you want. You lock it back in. You strap it back in, and she's just as secure. Another feature of DynoStand is its mobility. You can simply tilt the stand on its casters and roll it to wherever you want to go. You can also work on your helicopter with the optional helipad attachment. We didn't forget about you heli guys. Here's how. First, we need to disassemble the side supports, floating floors, and the anti-rotation bracket. Retract the extension to its minimum. Put the helipad bases across the sliding blocks with the eccentric hole toward the outside. Secure in place with a 3/8/16 carriage bolt and a 4-prong knobs. Slide out the extension and secure them with the same hardware. And lock it in place. Measure the distance from the outside of one skid to the outside of the other skid and add 1/4 inch to that measurement. Transfer that measurement to the helipad bases between the mounting holes. Adjust by sliding the base on the sliding blocks to match. We're going to use this 60cc size nitro helicopter. Position it so the skid is about 1/8 of an inch away from the mounting hole and centered between the legs. Position the retaining block across the skids and secure it in place with a studded knob and a fender washer. Finger tight evenly and check for movement. When you're satisfied, you're ready to work. If the retaining block does not fit your bird, you can trim it down to fit, but you cannot trim it down to less than 2 inches wide. Since the helis are top heavy on DynoStand, you need to be careful with your locks. Now you can put your heli in almost any position you want. Firmly and securely.